All right, so this is section 6.2. Now let me point out something right here. It's going to read homework 6.3. I'm going to try to get that fixed. So just make sure when you're doing section 6.2 homework that you see 6.2.5 or 6.2 point whatever, okay? Hopefully that'll be fixed by the time you get here, but there was a problem with the course that I loaded. Nonetheless, in 6.2, we're talking about the sum and difference formulas, okay? So we're going to go to our identities, right? Okay. And you're going to notice that we've got these guys right here, sum and difference identities. Now on your page they look a little bit different, but really what we're talking about is if I have the cosine of one angle plus or minus another angle, then it's going to equal this. All right, now here's the real thing you need to notice. If it's a plus on top, notice that it's a minus on top. All right, so the identities that I use when I'm working through this problem are going to come from the sum and difference identities. Now, for this one, you'll notice that we have cosine, cosine, and then we've got sine, sine. Now, if you look on your identities page, you're going to see the one that has cosine, cosine, and sine, sine. That's going to equal, that yellow's hurting my eyes, that's going to equal the cosine of angle A plus angle B. Excuse me, angle A minus angle B. Sorry, number one, I had to look in the problem, right? But number two, that plus sign is the indicator that it should be minus. Now, if you look, what they want us to do is they want us to find the value for angle A, right? And so we're going to use these identities to do that. If you go in and you try to find out what the answer to these problems are using a calculator, it's going to give you some information that's incorrect. So in this expression, I have figured out that I'm looking at A minus B. All right, A is going to be the first angle, B is going to be the next angle. So I'm going to type 64 for A and 19 for B. And 19 for B. And I want to check my answer. Well done. Okay, so now we move on to the next part. It says to write the expression as the cosine of an angle. All right, so there's an English lesson going on right here. An angle means we're talking about one angle. So we're going to have the cosine of angle A minus angle B, right? 64 minus 19. I think if you do 64 minus 19, you wind up with 45. So the number I'm going to type in the box is going to be 45. In other words, we're just going to have the cosine of 45 degrees. Let's check that out and see if it works. Perfect. Now if we move on to the last part, it says to find the exact value. And notice it says type an exact answer using fractions, radicals, and a rationalized denominator. In other words, we don't want radicals in the bottom. We're going to look at cosine 45. And cosine 45 is at this point right here on the unit circle. Remember that cosine is the x value, right? Cosine's the x value here. So the answer that I type in the box is going to be square root of 2 over 2. Uh-oh. Sorry. There we go. Now we get the right answer. Okay, so we're using these sum and difference identities to kind of figure out the answers to these problems. Right. Hopefully this will help you as you work throughout section 6.2 homework. Again, I know this says 6.3 up here. I'll have that fixed before you get to this homework assignment. So when you see 6.2, it should be these 6.2 problems that you have right there. All right. Good luck with this. Email me if you have some